an hour, so right in that ballpark. So Arlem, 417, you have 11 minutes. Let's please get in our shelter right now. Let that rotation move overhead. What we've seen so far this afternoon may have been a couple of potential land spouts. So in other words, they're not true tornadoes, but they are rotating columns of air that do create the possibility of having some brief damage. So Arlem, Timpson at 432, Meldrum at 439, Tenaha at 450, Paxton at 459. So that would take us right up until CBS 19 News at 5. So that's the rotation that we're seeing. It's very weak currently on 259, crossing over 259. Now let me go back up here. This is interesting. We have another severe thunderstorm warning on a different cell, and that cell is here where we have our Titan indicator northwest of Dotson, and we're getting a stronger indication of inflow into that storm. So this one might get a tornado warning on it. It currently has a severe thunderstorm warning on it with a tornado possible tag. That's why you see that dashed line. This would be the area that would be watched, because this is where it looks like the radar or the storm is trying to create what we call a tornadic vortex signature. One possible also in here. So there's a couple of areas where rotation could be increasing within that storm. This has a lot more lightning than the storm that is currently tornado warned. I would be more concerned about this storm with a potential tornado warning. But again, what we've seen so far today are these quick little spin-ups, potentially up in the Lindale area. And we know we've had some damage over in the Kilgore area, south of Kilgore on 42. And it looked like, I think it was Walker's Bar over there, took some damage as that cell moved through there. But look at that see right there, that little notch. And then there's another one right in here. So the severe thunderstorm warning was issued for those two portions of the cell. And we still have this severe thunderstorm warning till 4:30, and then the Rusk, Shelby, Nacogdoches County storm until 4:30. So I'll just go back up here a little bit on that cell. I'm going to look at the rotation inside it. Again, kind of broad, not super strong, strong enough to denote a tornado warning. And what we've seen again are these quick little spin-ups this afternoon. So it would tell us that, you know, that's possible, maybe not likely, but possible and worth certainly issuing a tornado warning on it just for everyone's safety. Remember, this area now is under a tornado watch until 10 p.m. down into Shelby County. But look at Nacogdoches County. Again, I just want to stress that that cell is not going to go north to south on you, okay? If anything, it turns a little bit to the right, but it would only clip the very northeastern corner of Nacogdoches County. City of Henderson, you are in the clear. You do not have to worry about a tornado warning. That cell is not going to turn back to the northwest and come back into more of Rusk County. Mount Enterprise was the area that was being watched carefully. And right there it is, right over Mount Enterprise. And Mount Enterprise at 84 at 259 near New Summerfield. And again, that is now moving out of, let's see if it moves out of the Mount Enterprise area. So Mount Enterprise, you can come out of your safe place. That storm is moving away. The concern here would be east of Mount Enterprise, closer to Garrison, west of Timpson. Let me see if I can zoom in on any other roads and give you sort of a better idea. Arlem is one of those cities I called out. I think you have about 7 more minutes until it possibly starts to move into the Arlem area. But first, heavy rainfall. Looks like there's a little bit of a hail core. You've got the winds that are going to be gusting out and being ingested back into the storm. There also looks to be somewhat of a rear flank downdraft trying to develop in this storm, with the winds descending here and being wrapped back in. But now, just on that latest scan, looks even weaker than it did before. So for a moment, it looked like it had potential to do something, and wow, that has really widened out, okay? But still, in Arlem, please, let's stay in our safe place, because in Arlem, what we could end up seeing is some sort of recycling with the storm, and then it regenerates and gets a little bit stronger. So that's the only tornado warning we have going on right now until 4:30 for, let's even call it, it's all the northern, very northern Nacogdoches County, very eastern part of Rusk County, and very western part of Shelby County. Now, more of Shelby County could be impacted by this if this cell holds together and continues moving east. There's a larger thunderstorm up here north that is sliding to the south of Carthage, getting ready to cross over 59. If you live in Dotson, the skies are likely very dark right now. And also, they would be, you're probably hearing a lot of thunder and seeing a lot of lightning off to your north. So I am going to try to spin our camera around while you watch and look at that, the view from, or the radar image that we have in place. I'm going to look southeast from Nacogdoches, see if I can see anything. It doesn't look like, what I was going to try to do is show you maybe more of the sky. South, that's going to be southwest of Nacogdoches. That's not where I want to be looking per se, but it is raining pretty hard in that area. All right, let me look here. Going back toward, oh, there's a Appleby. There's a pretty good thunderstorm right now crossing north of Nacogdoches. Let's go back. Let me see if I can get that on camera for you, give you a view of what we're looking at here. And if we do, okay. All right, so that's the storm currently on the north side of Nacogdoches right now. So you can see it here. A lot of heavy rainfall. That is, a lot of wind coming down also with that storm currently. So we're looking at the dorms at Stephen F. Austin, and we're looking, I believe, more to the south from where that location is. Let me go back. So there it is. So let me zoom in on the campus. Homer Bryce is going to be up here. We still have, now they've tagged this. So there's Homer Bryce Stadium looking south in that storm. And a new severe thunderstorm warning just came out for Nacogdoches County. So on that cell that I was just watching, and they also put a tornado tag on that. So now we have the tornado tag on that cell there at Nacogdoches, okay? We'll go back. I'll zoom out here a little bit. So if you know anybody at Stephen F. Austin, some students down there, have them shelter in place until this storm passes. It won't take too long. I'll run this back into motion for us here. Again, that was the second time we had a severe thunderstorm warned cell move through Nacogdoches, and it also had a tornado tag on it earlier today. So the environment down here is really conducive to have at least a quick spin up, and we've seen a couple of those. Back up here to the north, continuing to watch this cell that prompted that tornado warning until 4:30 for Mount Enterprise, but now that has moved out of Mount Enterprise. Lawsonville is currently within that warned area. And then it looks like, and the best thing I can do here sometimes, you can see the other cell up to the north of that also getting a tornado tag possible on it near Timpson, near Dotson. So let me back those up, and we'll see just if we can get a little, let me see if we can get a, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of analysis here as we come through. These thunderstorms are trying to cluster up with those. If they can cluster, that would be better, as long as they would remain what we call discrete. Not so good. There's a little tail trying to pop up on that one west of Tenahall. That's why that line is there for the potential for a tornado possible tag on it. That's near Buncombe. We had talked about the storms with hail possibly moving into Buncombe a little bit earlier. So there's a pretty decent outbound. Winds going away at Dotson, and that inbound here is weaker. But one side is certainly rotating a little bit stronger in that cell, so that's worth watching. The warned storm continue to look weak, and the storm down here at Nacogdoches shows a little bit stronger rotation moving to the north side of Nacogdoches. Let me look back at the camera here real fast, and I'll go forward on that just real fast for us to see what's happening in Nacogdoches. All right, so you're looking at a live picture here from Nacogdoches over the campus at Stephen F. Austin, where it's raining almost sideways right now with the wind coming through and the heavy rainfall in that area. So that's going to be on that storm that we're watching. All right, I'll widen it back out. While you look at this, I need to go check with the Weather Service and see if they've got anything that they are potentially looking at, maybe dropping that tornado warning. That's a certain possibility. Yes, we have 14 more minutes to go on that warning. All right, so just got information that Walton's Bar in Kilgore had its roof blown off, and we're going to have a live report coming up at 5 p.m. And now Lindale. All right. All right, we're getting reports now that 8 homes were damaged in Lindale. No injuries anywhere. So 8 homes damaged, Lindale, with not sure to confirm that as a tornado. Could have been a land spout, which is very similar to a tornado, and again can cause some very weak EF1 or EF0 type of damage when those winds whip up. Regardless, it's damage. There's no reason to split hairs whether or not it was a tornado or straight line winds or a land spout. There is damage there. So, and if you saw what looked like a tornado, that's what land spouts do. So that's certainly a possibility that a land spout looks like a tornado. The only difference is it's just not attached to what we would call a parent thunderstorm. And because at the time, those thunderstorms, as they were moving through the Lindale area, there might have been 1 or 2 lightning strikes. So that was not a very strong cell at all. The rotation on it was very weak, but that does not mean, and I've said this probably 100 times, professors in college always said, you can never use never and always when you're talking about the weather. So you can never say that a storm without any lightning could never create a tornado. It could, or it could create a land spout or a gustnado. There are so many different factors involved there. All right, so a new tornado warning just dropped. That's what I thought would happen with that one. So we've cleared Caledonia, Garrison, Timpson, and Silas. They have dropped the tornado warning there. So we are free or clear in those areas. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning approaching Tenaha, and still that curious area northwest of Timpson. Timpson, though, you can come out of your safe place. Garrison, you can also come out of your sheltered area, as that thunderstorm has now weakened below severe limits. Nacogdoches, I want you to stay in your sheltered area. And let me track that storm for us in Nacogdoches. We know it's moving southeastward if we just follow the yellow box or the polygon. So that storm itself is headed towards Swift, Martinsville, Atoyac, Denning, and San Augustine. So Swift at 4:23, new severe thunderstorm warning coming up here. I'll hit that in just a second. Martinsville at 4:32, Atoyac at 4:41, Denning at 4:56, San Augustine at 5:08. So all right, so this is going to be this new severe thunderstorm warning. We'll clear that out of there, hit the new severe thunderstorm warning, and hopefully we can. If not, looks like we're getting a little bit locked up here with our iPad. Let's click on that. All right, so this is the new severe thunderstorm warning for Sabine County. This will take us up until 5 p.m. All right, the fact that we don't have any more tornado warnings, we can probably take a break soon. We do have a live weather update that'll be very brief coming up at 4:30, so I can stay on for about another 10 minutes, clear us out of that, and then get reset for the 5 p.m. news. All right, so we got a couple of storms right now that we would consider severe thunderstorm warnings with the potential to see, with those lines on there, a tornado possible. Okay, and that's Nacogdoches, San Augustine, Shelby County. This one just got reissued until 5 p.m. And then the other cell up here to the north toward Dotson, that also goes until 4:30. So that's just Panola County now. And now we've extended into Panola and Shelby County until 5 p.m. on that cell. And again, we've added in that tag of tornado possible. I have a feeling we're going to see this all the way to the Louisiana border. Here's Logansport. So these storms should be approaching the Louisiana border by 5 p.m. and then we'll start to see things winding down quickly. This one will take longer. We're talking about a storm. All right, so now we got a whole cluster of severe thunderstorm warnings here. So let me go over all that we have. Again, in this red area here is the tornado watch. But again, Henderson, you are not in the tornado watch, okay? Nacogdoches, you are, but only for the next few minutes. Angelina County, Lufkin is not in the tornado watch. The watch box itself, and let me go back and reset this just so you can see what we're talking about here. The better way to look at this would be what the Weather Service calls the aerial outline, okay? So the aerial outline is where they draw the tornado watch. And you can see that's Rusk County. That's how much of Rusk County is in that tornado watch as that cell moves out. Nacogdoches, city of Nacogdoches kind of split in half, and also in Lufkin. So that's why you see a little bit of those cells that are in that tornado watch, but it does not go all the way back to Henderson and all the way back into western parts of Nacogdoches County. So it's a little misleading when you see some of these tornado watches. This is what you really want to look at, is the watch box area. There's another tornado warning in Tyler County right now. So let me go back. I'm going to go back and see if we can see. What am I looking at here? Probably didn't want to do that. I'm going to go forward and see if we can get a look at outside. Nacogdoches should be getting a little bit better here. I'm going to reset everything, and there we go. All right. So, yeah, the skies have cleared at Nacogdoches. So, Stephen F. Austin, you are in the clear. Students on the campus, Stephen F. Austin can come out of any type of shelter that you might have been taking. The thunderstorms have cleared the area. The sun is popping back out. Those storms are going to be off to your east. In fact, let me just kind of pan around a little bit and give you an idea of what we're looking at. Looking east, this is going to be looking back toward the west, all clear there. We'll come up back to the north, and then I'll come all the way around to the east. To the north, we can see some of those thunderstorms that are north of Nacogdoches. That would be up in the center toward Timpson area. Look at the thunderstorms associated with big tops, big chunky cumulus clouds associated with that. And then we'll come out and you'll see the storm moving away. Ooh, that looks menacing. That was a menacing cloud that moved away there. Ooh, my. Good shot there of what we were looking at with that severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag on it. I don't know if you all could see that. Go back to that Nacogdoches camera. Look at that. So this was the lowering that created the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag on that storm. Some rotation visible here. We can just very weak rotation coming in. If you watch it very slowly, moving from right to left. The lowering on the cloud base, getting closer to the surface. No wall cloud visible, but what we call the mid-level storm itself, very apparent and very visible here on this camera shot. All right, let's go back to the radar, and what we're looking at here, again, severe thunderstorm warning, Nacogdoches. That's the cell that we just looked at, okay? That's the cell we just took a view of from Nacogdoches, looking back to the east of that cell, that very dark area that is close to the ground, but no wall cloud descending from that right now. We'll come back up here to the north, and then we've got just east of Dotson. So Dotson's now in the clear, despite the fact that that severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado tag possible on it continues. Carthage is in that corner of the storm, the northeastern corner of the storm right now. And again, ooh, look at that. So there's a little area here that would be very concerning. Right in there. But do we see any rotation? Very weak, very broad. Okay, so that's good news. We're not seeing much in the way there. We'll keep an eye on that for you. I'll come back down here to this storm. We're staying on till 4:30. We'll toss it back to programming, and we'll get ready unless we get another tornado warning. But just looking at what I'm seeing here in terms of the rotation, this one has a strong updraft in it. Let's inspect that storm. So what we do is we use our Titan indicator, and it is indicating some fairly strong winds, close to a 10. It's probably a gusty thunderstorm currently with that cell, and that's going to be right there north of Timpson. So gusty winds north of Timpson. The probability of hail in there, it looks pretty good, but this wind impact is really the biggest impact out of that storm itself. So let me track this for us here. We know it's moving to the southeast. We know it's moving to the southeast at about roughly 30 miles an hour. We will take the cone and we'll track that one area of most concern out to the east. And that means it's going to be in the Meldrum area at 4:30, so in about 4 minutes, Tenaha at 4:40, Paxton at 4:49, Logansport right around 5:09. All right, so that's what we're seeing with that cell. Go back to our regular radar. I'm going to throw this into motion for you. Again, this will just give you perspective. Jacksonville, you're in the clear. Tyler in the clear for the night. It's center. Nacogdoches is now in the clear. Lufkin is in the clear for the night. You've got to worry about St. Augustine, center. Carthage is about to get cleared here as those thunderstorms continue moving south and eastward. This is probably the strongest thunderstorm of all of them, moving into northwestern parts of Shelby County currently. And that storm that moves into northern San Augustine County, one crossing over the central part of Toledo Bend. Hopefully, if anybody's on Toledo Bend, northeast of Hemp Hill, they are either getting off the lake or they've already gotten off the lake. That one continues to look menacing toward Milam, but it's moving away from Milam. Hemp Hill is not in the path of that storm currently. Back here at Nacogdoches, we have to worry about the storm close to San Augustine. The one near Diboll doesn't look too awful. That's south of Lufkin. And I'll come up here toward Tenahall and Center. All right, little rotation now starting to show up inside that cell right there toward Nacogdoches. All right, so Booth, please let me know what time that the update was that we were going to cover, and then we will get off the air shortly after that. Oh, it was a minute ago, so it's already run. Okay, so that means that we can then take a break from our wall-to-wall coverage here on CBS 19 and also on our streaming channels on CBS 19 Plus and on our Facebook page and, of course, the YouTube channel. I appreciate everybody staying and hanging out with me this afternoon, watching our coverage here. Hopefully we were able to keep you safe and that's another tornado warning in Tyler County, so that's going to be outside of our area, so we don't have to worry about that one. All right, so again, one more just update here. Panola County till 4:30. Then you've got Panola and Shelby County until 5 o'clock on that cell there, and then northern parts of Sabine County. Thanks for watching this afternoon. We will see you. We've got live updates from Lindale, also out at Kilgore, where there was some damage. There it is. They're taking a live picture from Walton's Bar. The roof ripped off there. Our CBS 19 on-scene unit just arriving. We'll have an update on CBS 19 News at 5 o'clock. That's coming up in just about a half hour. Thanks for watching, everyone.